Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission to order. It's Thursday, February 28th, and the time is 7:04. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Harris?
Here.
Commissioner Stephen?
Present.
Here.
Commissioner DeJournette?
Here.
Commissioner Baker? Absent. Vice Chair Corsick?
Present.
Chairman Barnes?
Here. Thank you very much. At this time, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. At this time, we need to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for February.
Motion from Commissioner Sims, second from Commissioner Harris. Electronic vote. Wow, that was quick, a record. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much. Next item is the consent calendar. One item being the approval of minutes from the meeting of February 14th.
I was here that time, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 14th.
Well done, Commissioner. Motion from Commissioner Sims. A second?
I'll second.
A race.
I know.
Second from Commissioner Korzak. Please vote electronically. Commissioner Harris. Bueller. There we go. Success. That also carries 6-0. Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda, the public comments portion of the meeting. Any person wishing to address the commission on any matter, either under the public comments section of the agenda or scheduled items or public hearing, must fill out a request to speak. Please limit your time to 3 minutes. And do we have any speakers?
No, sir.
Pardon me? No? All right. Moving on. Non-public hearing items, we have none. Public hearing items, we have one. Case number 1, PEN 180065, tentative track 37643. PEN 180066, a change of zone, and PEN 180067, an expanded initial study. The applicant is Mac Jones Holdings, Inc. Do we have a staff report?
Mr. Chair, the item will be presented to you by Associate Planner Jeff Bradshaw.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Barnes and members of the Planning Commission. The item before you presented this evening is a request from the applicant, Mac Jones Holdings, for a zone change for the project site to change the zoning from its existing RA2 zone to R5, residential 5, to develop the vacant 10-acre site. This is a property that's had subdivisions approved on it in the past. There was a map approved on this site in 2006 by the Planning Commission, and unfortunately that expired in 2015. More recently, we worked with the same applicant to present a subdivision concept to the Planning Commission, and that was approved by the Commission in October of 2017, and that was for a 16-lot subdivision that was consistent with the zoning, the half-acre zoning for the project site. What's unique about the property is the general plan land use designation. So going back to city incorporation, this has been identified in the general plan as an area that would be considered residential 5 or R5. I don't have the entire history to explain why the zoning over the top of that was RA2. Going back to the general plan update in 2006, the general plan remained the same and the zoning still remained the same. And there was interest on the applicant's part after he presented this to the Planning Commission in 2017. I think even some discussion amongst the commissioners as to why not develop the site consistent with the general plan. And so following the existing entitlement or approval that's there, the applicant did approach staff to see if the city would support the change to R5, the zoning, and at a staff level, we were supportive of that concept. So we've had an opportunity to work with the developer to review, update the environmental documentation for the project, to look at potential impacts that might result from increasing the density. And if you've had a chance to take a look at the initial study, you'll find that through that analysis, there are no impacts that wouldn't be reduced to less than significant with the application of mitigation measures. The mitigation that's recommended for this project is the same mitigation that was recommended and adopted by the Planning Commission for the 16-lot subdivision. And so really, this is an opportunity for the developer to be able to build more lots. This proposal presented to you this evening would result in 31 lots. The zoning is consistent with some of the surrounding area that you see there on the map, consistent with what's been developed and what's zoned in the area. The map proposes then 31 lots. Each home site would be consistent with the R5 standards. Each lot would be at least 7,200 square feet in size. The development this time is similar to the one presented to you before, in that the water quality requirements for the project would be addressed through 3 common lots that are distributed through the project. It's the same design we presented to the Commission in 2017. There is a reverse frontage parkway along the Cottonwood frontage. That is also similar to the original design. There are just more lots along that frontage than there were before. The notice for this project was completed consistently with our municipal code requirements. A notice of the hearing and the availability of the environmental documentation was published 20 days in advance of this meeting. The site was posted 10 days in advance, and we also sent mailing notices to the property owners, everyone within 300 feet of the project site. As of this evening, the city has not received any inquiries about the project. And I'm prepared to answer additional questions if you might have them. I was trying to keep my presentation brief. But staff's recommendation would be for the Planning Commission to recommend to council that they certify the environmental documentation for this project and approve the map as presented to you this evening. And I did have one housekeeping item. In the review of the conditions of approval that are in your packet, Public Works staff worked with land development, and they noted that condition number 70 is actually a duplicate of another condition that's already within the Public Works set of conditions of approval for the project. And so our recommendation would be to remove condition 70 as it's not necessary and a duplicate of another requirement that's already there. With that correction, that would conclude my staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Jeff. Commissioners, any questions?
I wasn't here when the previous plans were submitted. Was there, the water treatment, the basin, was it going to be also set aside?
Yes, the original concept was to treat the water in 3 separate common areas, almost in the exact locations that you're seeing them in this proposal.
Okay.
Any others? Would the applicant like to add anything to the staff report? Nope, he's good. All right. No questions? Sorry, one more. Go ahead.
I was I was curious as to the amount of letters that went out to the individual tribes. What I haven't seen before in some of the previous packets, and I was curious if that was maybe due to was something found in the area, or
That's actually pretty standard for, actually it is a standard for all new development. It's a state law, and we have a list of local tribes that have indicated their interest in being informed of new development. And so we have a a standard list of local Native American tribes that we would send the correspondence to, and then we wait to hear back from them, and those that indicate or request consultation, then we would work to coordinate with them through the review of the project.
Mr. Chair, if I could clarify, it's a requirement of CEQA under AB 52. When we have an environmental document, we're required to notify the tribes and invite them to consult. So that's where the requirement comes from.
Any other questions? All right, let's open hearing to public comments. Do we have any speakers?
We have one, Rafael Brugueras.
Good evening, Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, staff, and I guess I had the opportunity to smile through this item because I was here October 26, 2017, when there were only 5 commissioners. Mr. Baker was not here, and Mr. Lowe lives somewhere else. But I have the privilege to see the 3 in the middle. So I'm glad, and our official, Rick Santamar, was here October 26th too. So I'm having fun with this because the chair said something wise when he got elected to be the chair. There's a new sheriff in town, so please vote. That was his comment, October 26, 2017. How things are always recorded and kept. I mean, it was fun looking at it. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. And the good thing about it, in October 26 of 2017, the vote was 5-0. I don't know what it's going to be tonight, but it was 5-0 for that project when he came 20 months ago. This time, when I went to the site, I had the privilege to go around the 300 radius map. I went around the whole circle, page 14. I took it and I went around to look at it because in the staff report, they mentioned 7,200 square foot lots. And I said, okay, how is this going to work in the neighborhood when I look at this and I see the big lots next to it? And then I went around. Now I understand why this was in the staff report. But I had a privilege to talk to the owner today, a little while ago. And when you look at the update of the map and the lots, they're different. But I'm gonna allow him to do that because that's his project. I don't wanna steal his thunder. But when he tells you how he's gonna put the houses, the lots inside this little square box, it's gonna be good for the neighborhood, okay? Because they're not all gonna be 7,200. It's gonna be real good. He'll show you, because he surprised me. I support this project more than ever, this time a lot more, because he's done wonders with it, to take a 10-acre spot and put additional 15 more houses. So we're gonna have 31 additional new homes and neighbors in this neighborhood. It's gonna revise the road, the water, the electricity, everything that that neighborhood needs. He's going to provide that. So it's a good project, and I like it, and I was glad, because I don't talk to developers. I don't talk to nobody when I'm here. But today I needed to know, and I'm glad that I did. And he'll do the rest. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'm glad that we're stood together from all that time that went by. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Regaris. No other speakers?
No, Chair.
Would the applicant like to comment on anything that was brought forward?
Hello, my name's Dan Webb. Thank you for having me. The point that was brought up was, when I came in here basically 20 months ago, the concern was that the half-acre lots are big and very hard to maintain because there's just so much land. You know, you build a house that's a 2,500 square foot footprint, and then you still have 20,000 square feet that you have to maintain and and landscape, and it's hard to do. So after that, we went back and looked and tried to make the lots a really nice size. So I don't know if you guys have the map that shows the little houses on it, but the houses are about 2,400 square feet on a footprint, and you have an additional basically 7,500 square feet of basically a parcel to use for patios, pools, the driveway. And so we ended up doing, all the lots are basically between 0.2 and 0.25 acres. So I think really nice, generous lots. It'd be a great place to live, and that's what we did.
Thank you. All right. Having no other speakers, we'll close the public comment portion and deliberate. Mr. Sims.
I applaud the rework on the track. I think it fits really good with the adjacent neighborhood. Stacy Lynn has the street directly to the west, has the half-acre lots, but I don't know why, but they do. And this property, I've been in Moreno Valley since '94, and this property is sat. It looks like it's all ready to go. It seems like, somebody's ready to move on it, and it hasn't. And I just think it's because the half-acre lots were not the right development type, around in an R5 neighborhood. So I think this is going to be great. I think it's the right size lots. It looks like, cul-de-sacs. It's going to be nice. It gives a through street out from the track to the south, so it's nice. Good job.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes, I also would like to comment about the RA2. There are 10 of them on Stacy Lynn, and I was able to get into the backyards and look with Google Maps or Google Satellite, and out of 10 homes, there are only 2 homes in that area that have even done anything with their backyards. Mostly it's just weeds and dirt, and I do agree that these lots will be much better when they're smaller. There was one house that was just outstanding, but the only way I could see it was from the Google satellite. So anyway, I think this is a good thing to change the zoning back to R5.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I agree. I actually live on a half acre, and I understand the upkeep, and it is a lot. I've been there 35 years, and I've been able to maintain my property, but a lot of people in my track haven't, and it does, create a big, huge problem. And I think that going with the smaller lots, and it's a good size, 72 and above are very good size. And sometimes I wish I hadn't bought such a big a lot, but I did. And but it's not sustainable anymore, especially in this area. I don't believe that they could actually even sell those homes for that price. And it was really a good job to switch back to the smaller lots.
Anyone else? Well, I agree with everything that's been said. It's pretty obvious. We approved it before, and with the caveat that the lot size actually we thought was a bit of an issue, and that's been resolved, so it's even better now. So if someone would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Excellent.
I would recommend that the Planning Commission approve resolution number 2019-14, resolution number 20, resolution number 20, which one is the conditions of approval?
14, 15, and 16.
Well, we had, one of them was on the conditions of approval for number 70, we were gonna
You can just
eliminate.
throw that in at the end.
Okay, all right, well, then I would recommend approving resolution number 2019-14, and resolution number 2019-15, and resolution 2019-16, and in the condition of approval, eliminate condition 70.
Thank you, Commissioner Sims.
I'll second it.
Second from Commissioner Stevens. Please vote. Vince is killing me.
Yes, Willy Wonka.
He's got a goofy,
Bueller. Ah, success. Motion carries 6-0. Congratulations. Do we have a staff wrap-up?
The Planning Commission's recommendation on this project will be carried forward to the City Council for their review and final action. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, other commission business. Is there any?
We don't have anything else.
Very good. Any staff comments?
No staff comments.
Any planning commissioner comments? Well, with that, we will adjourn the meeting to the next regularly scheduled meeting on March 14th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in these chambers. Drive careful, everyone. Have a good evening. Good night.